Hi guys and welcome to Tasha Tuesday. If you're new here, click the red subscribe button and don't forget to give this video a big thumbs up because it helps me. So let's get started with the video. So I have a confession to make. I'm a Gleek. Like, a massive one. Everyone remembers the TV show Glee, right? That came out in 2009. The one that took over Tumblr, fandoms, and me. The premise of this show was that it followed a group of high school students in Glee Club on their journey to win national championships in Glee Club. Each episode showed multiple musical numbers surrounding popular songs at the time. Some of them included Justin Bieber's Baby and Kesha's TikTok. Well, I am currently re-watching Glee, and boy oh boy, this show is a roller coaster. So a little background on how I got into Glee. The very first episode I ever watched was in season 2. It was called Substitute Teacher and it starred Gwyneth Paltrow as Miss Holiday, who stepped in while Mr. Schuster was sick and took over Glee Club for the episode. I became obsessed with this show from that point. 1 week later was my birthday and my parents got me season 1 of Glee and I marathoned it. I managed to find bootleg copies of the rest of earlier in season 2 and I caught up all before the next episode the week later of Glee started. So it took me 1 week to catch up on all the episodes that I needed. And then weekly I watched, I was hooked. It annoyed my friends to no extent because I found spoilers, because I didn't care about spoilers at the time and I just was insane. So I'm sorry to all the people I ruined Glee for. That was my bad. I'm sorry. My favorite character was Kurt and then followed closely by Blaine. In season 3, Rory also made the list until he was unfairly snubbed and just left without any storyline whatsoever. Still salty. My favorite ship in the show is Klaine, which is Kurt and Blaine. I would read and write fan fictions about them. I would print off posters of them. I loved them so much. Some of my favorite episodes are Regionals, Never Been Kissed, Silly Little Love Songs, and Original Songs, and then followed by anything to do with Kurt and Blaine. I don't know why, but even now when I watch it back, they're still my favorite couple and I'm just obsessed. So anything with them in, I'm like, yes, I love. As I mentioned before, I love them. I read so many fan fictions. I printed off little love hearts and posters of them and I stuck them around my room. There was a shirt that I was obsessed with that I really wanted that said, "You can't go to Dalton, it's on a claimbow, you need a unicorn," which doesn't make any sense in the context of Glee or anything, and I was in that lol XD random phase and I thought that was the coolest shirt. I never got it, thank God, but I really wanted it. I was so obsessed. I had calendars, shirts, keychains. I even bought these special edition copies of some of the DVDs which came with exclusive merch, which were shitty oversized t-shirts where the word Glee came off in about 2 washes, but I had to have it because it was Glee and it was my life. Once I spent $40 on a Glee show bag. Inside it came with keychains, post-it notes, a poster book, and a quote book from all the characters. That's it. So as I mentioned before, I'm currently re-watching Glee and some of the storylines are an absolute mess. For example, Quinn in the wheelchair for like 3 episodes and then all of a sudden being able to walk and then completely forgetting that she was ever injured. The one where Artie randomly gets robotic legs and then they're never spoken of again after the Christmas episode airs. The strangest episodes by far in Glee is in season 3 called Props, where Tina bumps her head and becomes Rachel Berry for half the episode. Finn and Puck become Kurt and Blaine. Quinn for Bray becomes Sugar Mato, and it's a mess, honestly. I watched that episode like this the whole time. I was shook. I didn't remember that episode even happened, and when I'm rewatching it I'm like, how? This episode is so weird, how do you forget it? So despite the fact that the storylines for Glee were kind of a roller coaster ride and some of them were kind of crazy out there and didn't make sense for the characters themselves, I still genuinely love this show. Glee is super diverse. It is inclusive of pretty much everybody. It has special needs, it has diverse body shapes, it has every shape, color, sexual orientation that you can imagine. And to see that on television, especially 10 years ago in 2009, was amazing. They did cover controversial topics such as domestic abuse, teen pregnancy, sexuality. They didn't always handle these topics the best, but the fact that they had an openly transgender character on television 10 years ago, that's incredible. Like, it's hard enough to find an openly transgender character in television today, so the fact that Glee was so ahead of its time in such specific topics, I think was amazing. It had so many LGBT groups represented in the show, and it had different coming out stories that were realistic for people to believe, from 100% acceptance from Kurt's father, Bert, to Santana's abuela not wanting to see her because of her sexuality. It had one of the few openly bisexual characters on screen. Shout out to Brittany S. Pierce, one of my fellow bisexuals. On a side note to all that, we stan Bert Hummel, okay? He is amazing. He fights for Kurt's rights so much in the show, and I love him. So in my rewatch of Glee, I have had some thoughts about the show. Season 1 was absolutely amazing. I love the characters, I love the songs. The storyline that didn't quite make sense was Terry's fake pregnancy, but I think I can overlook that because the rest of the season I think was pretty good. Season 2 was also really good. I love the introduction of Blaine and the Warblers, and I also love the fact that you could see the elevation and next level that the Glee Club had risen to, which makes sense why they made it to Nationals in Season 2. Season 3, in my opinion, does go a little bit downhill. I still like it, and I think it's a really good way to end the OG Glee Club. I think it's a really nice way to end their storylines, and I would rewatch it again for that purpose. Season 4 onwards is kind of all over the place. Personally, I only really watch it because I like following the storyline of Rachel and Kurt and Blaine and some of the OGs that I'm interested in. I don't particularly care about the storyline of Marley or Kitty or Jake, just because I don't think they had so much character development, and I know that takes time, but I just think it's the new Rachel, it's the new Quinn, it's the new Puck, and I feel like they were just copycats and less developed versions of the characters that we've already seen. So yeah, I used to be a massive Gleek. I guess I still am. I love the show. I genuinely would rewatch it over and over again, even if some of the later seasons get kind of bad. But that's beside the point. I love dancing and singing to all of the music that they do, and yeah. So I guess in conclusion, I'm still a massive Gleek. Throw a slushie in my face, I don't care. I think the show is really great, even despite the fact that it gets kind of bad after Season 3. I would still genuinely rewatch it over and over again. Let me know in the comments below if you watched Glee, and if so, what season is your favorite and who is your favorite character? Obviously mine is Season 1 and I loved Kurt. I hope you have a great day and I will see you all next week. Bye!